Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 walkthrough. So today we're going to be having a look at Catacombs of Carthus and we're going to be moving on to Smouldering Lake as well. Quite amazing that there's 3 undead bone shards in these areas combined, and there's also going to be an Estus shard there as well. And some other things as you go through. There's a Black Knight sword, which is quite a good weapon that you can find there as well. And there's some Twinkling Titanite, there's a Titanite chunk as well, which can let you get to a +7 weapon, normal weapon as well, so that's quite cool to be able to do so early on. Just letting you know what I did last time after I finished the stream. I just made sure to go back and get Orbeck from, and I did show you where he was, but I just went and got him from Crucifixion Woods, and then I gave him the 2 sorcery scrolls as well, so he does sell a couple more things now. So if we say learn sorceries, you'll see that he has all soul arrows and that sort of thing. He has a couple of soul weapon spells, so magic weapon, magic shield, which buff your weapon and shield, spook, which is used to prevent fall damage as well as not making noise, oral decoy, pestilent mist is really useful. Definitely recommend getting that one for the Medea fight later on when we get to the DLCs. Cast light, there's a couple of just other ones that are sort of interesting but not hugely amazing. Although Twisted Wall of Light can be really useful on Aldrich, so again that's one that you might want to think about getting if you are looking at a mage or a yeah, more of a sorcery character, because Twisted Wall of Light will mean that you can avoid damage from those arrows that Aldrich shoots. Vow of Silence can also be quite useful in Aldrich. Anyway, and we're going to head to the Abyss Watchers fight and into the Catacombs. So again, I'm going to try and show you a good path through the Catacombs. Now obviously we are trying to get all the items, so if you want sort of the most efficient path, you're better off looking at my speed runs. But if you're looking at getting all weapons, hopefully this will be a way of relatively quickly going and picking up everything. And I'll make sure I point out the important items, especially like the undead bone shards and Estus shards. Let's get into it. I am glad to be done Farron Keep, I must say. It's definitely not my favourite walkthrough. Catacombs can be annoying with the Carthus swordsmen, but they're not too bad. Also a note that blessed weapons prevent this second get up for some skeletons. Some skeletons will get up again, as you see there. He was getting up again, and then decided not to. Usually they will get up again, but okay. Sorry guys. So there is this swordsman on the bridge, so I recommend locking onto him, waiting for him to attack, getting behind him and backstabbing. You really want to get behind these guys because they will absolutely wreck you if you stay in front of them. There's 2 other skeletons that will come out here. I usually just deal with them so they don't drop down on me when I'm going to the next area. Now, a bit of a note with these skeletons, if they do hold their weapon up sort of two-handed and holding one hand at the hilt, one hand further, they will try and parry you, and if you try and attack them, especially a right bumper attack, you have pretty much a 90% chance of being parried, or maybe even a 100% chance, I'm not sure. So, their weapon, just wait until they've stopped. So watch that guy, he will always spin out from that area, and then we get the Pyromancy Tome there. I don't usually get hit by that spin, I'm not actually usually too worried about it, so a bit surprising to get hit there. Watch out with this guy, he does have show tells, so shields won't deal really any benefit for you. I'm used to holding them up for the enemies, so I will hold up my shield. It's just habit. And again, getting behind them, spam attacking is generally my technique on them. sharp gem there, make sure you pick that one up. And then we're going to go to the left. If you go to the right, it's sort of the shorter way, but you won't pick up all the items, so I'll take this direction. Soul item there. And coming up this ladder, we will have a trap just ahead, so just watch out for that. Buttons, they send arrows, so I'll just show you. As soon as you step on it, you'll get 3 arrows come from behind you twice. You can actually use those to take on some of the enemies there, but it's not massively helpful. It just can be useful with some of the swordsmen. So continuing on, I will take this left path first because it's sort of a dead end, but I just pick it up before I continue on the way I should be going. Finish those guys off. Again, those guys will try and parry you. It is quite often that they try and parry me. You'll probably see. I'm just going to try and that parry attack, at least one of them. Parry attack. There we go. See the two-handed? So don't try and attack now. I'm going to just demonstrate it. There's the parry. And yeah, they will do that most times if they're two-handing it. So just keep an eye out for that. I think he just survived that fall. Okay, from the staircase, you'll notice that that's actually the initial bridge where we dropped off earlier. So I'm going to continue on now. Again, watch out for that parry attack. Back's the safest thing to do if you want to get an attack on him when he's doing that. 2 skeletons going to get up here. You can hit them both at once if you have a straight sword or a great sword. I tend to get this guy next, just because you can plunge, and then I'll get behind him and try and backstab. If not, just spam attack straight away after you beat him, and you must try and kill him quick because there's 2 of them. Here's the other one. I'll sometimes spam attack as he gets up, and I'll sometimes heal. It just depends how much health I'm on. And they do drop Carthus, which means that you can, if you just have a normal weapon rather than a boss type weapon, like this one I can't buff. You'll notice that if I try and go to a buff, whereas if I have my, let's say my broad, I can use buffs like Carthus Rouge, which cause bleeding damage and give you extra lightning damage, for instance. Anyway, back to our straight sword, and there's some Titanite shards. To the left here, we got a couple of skeletons. They will be. I generally wait for a couple to get up, and then I'll just hit them all at once. I don't think these guys get back up, but just to be safe, we're going to watch. No, they don't. And down this area, if you've talked to Henri in Firelink, then Henri will be here, so make sure you talk to her. She tells you that she's been separated from Horus, you can't find him, and you're basically saying that you don't know where he is.
He can look after himself, no question. He's probably searching for me right now, with twice the resolve. And if you happen upon him, please tell him that I remain in the catacombs.
So she wants you to find Horus for her.
Please send him my word, guide. If you happen upon that I remain and will lay, please send me.
And she lays prism stones for him to find. That's not hugely important to know, but it's kind of cool to know at this point. There's a twink there, make sure you get him, and blood red moss clump. And then we're going to head back up the staircase. Now this time we're going to go the direction that we actually want to be going in. Again, we could have got there a lot quicker, but I'm showing you all the items, so just so we pick it all up. So down this way, to the left, we've got an M. Just going to grab that. Now you have to grab that really quickly if you are going to grab that right now, because we will have a boulder coming behind us, so roll to the left as soon as you get there, and you'll avoid that boulder. Again, if you're new, I might just leave that ember for a little bit, because we can go back and get it once we've killed this guy. That guy with the hat is the one who's summoning the boulder, so as soon as you kill him, the boulder will then explode as it comes back down. So you'll notice here, we've killed him, and so the boulder's not going to keep going, it's just going to smash, and we can pick up the undead bone shard. Now, make sure you pick that bone shard up, because those are really, really useful for upgrading your Estus. These skeletons, they will get up twice if you don't have a blessed weapon, so kill them and then come back to the first one, and then repeat the process. And then roll behind that guy and backstab him if he does that, because it means that you get invincibility while those things that he throws are coming at you. the guy who throws things just down here. So those things a bit dangerous, and you just try and get behind him and backstab him. And watch out, he might get up again as well. No, he's going to stay down. Alright. Continuing on, now this part, there are some barrels that are safe and some that aren't. I tend to hit barrels, go to the right, hit those, and you can literally just walk in and grab the ring here now. You're just leaving all the rest of the barrels alone. There are some traps in the middle there, so just be where you step. Same as here, there's another trap. You can see it right there. Someone's just saying trap ahead. Well done. And so again, if you step on that, you're going to have arrows coming towards you. Continuing on ahead, we have a skill light. We're going to finish him off first, because then we're going to have this Carthus swordsman coming at us. That ring, by the way, increases dexterity and also makes you go invisible when you roll. So similar to what those Carthus swordsmen have on them. Try and get that guy from behind. As I've said, they're very annoying if you fight them from the front. And those guys can drop vertebra shackles as well, so those Carthus swordsmen. So if you're trying to farm for vertebra shackles, that's one of the places that you can get them for the Mound Maker's Covenant. These guys I tend to send arrows to hit, so it does just deal that bit of damage before they come. And then what I'll do is I'll step back a bit and get around them and get the backstab on them. Now you have to play this cautious, because otherwise you will get hit by them, and if they combo attack you, that's what happens. You get blood loss, because their weapons cause bleed. So again, try and finish one off. Once you've got one, it's just one at a time. Get behind him or kick his shield. I'm not managing to kick very well. And use your shield. Have your shield up, because they do a lot of damage. And as I go to kick, he puts his shield down again. I was actually trying to kick there again. There we go. Just a side note as well, you can actually drop down to the left here, and you'll see there's some rats and things just down there. You can see the big rat there. It's the area where Sorrig invades as well, so won't be too long and we'll be down there. There's a soul item, and there's another soul item at the back there, or I think it's a soul item, it might be a large titanite shard. Oh, it's an ember, okay, none of the above. The large titanite shard's just to the left here behind that boulder, but I go to the right first because otherwise the boulder has a chance to hit me. So you can then go back, grab the large titanite shard, and then head to the left. So this area to the left, it actually will go to where that first boulder was. So the guy with the hat was actually just down there. There's going to be one of the guy with the hat who summons this we've just seen, second boulder. From this bonfire we're going to go left again, so just wait for the boulder to go past you. This is the safest route. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the safe spot. You notice someone's put a message down here saying safe zone, and it's had lots and lots of ratings. And then once that boulder's come back, you can head down the staircase. Watch out for these rats. I just usually head to the left, just so that the boulder doesn't hit me when it comes through. I'll try, and there we go, that's where the boulder comes through, so keep an eye on that. Straight ahead, we've got some more rats. Again, just try and hit them before they can hit you. With this one, hold up your shield, wait for him to hit you, and then hit. Now we've got some bone wheel skeletons, but don't sort of get too scared. They were a lot more fierce in Dark Souls 1. In Dark Souls 3 they don't do anywhere near the same amount of damage. There's also the guys that drop from the roof. Just keep an eye on them. As long as you sort of stay close to these middle pillars, usually you'll be alright. Gee, this is going for a marathon run. So bone wheels, just roll left to right and hold up your shield. Usually you can avoid them, and then just chase after them and finish them off. I don't usually have to run that far back, but anyway. So I'll try and make this one, yeah, roll into the wall, and then you can just kind of get him from behind. Again, this guy, we're going to try and roll into the wall. There we go. To the left, there's the Carthus blood ring. Now just run as quick as you can, grab it, and then run back, because there's going to be a guy dropping. There we go. So watch out for those sludge boys that will try and drop on you. So watch out for the boulder. We will deal with the boulder in 1 second. Sometimes you'll get invaded by Sorg if you've moved a little bit away from the path that I've taken for this video, so I will show you the Sorg invasion very soon. But we'll do it once we've unlocked the shortcut. Alright, so this is a... where is it? There we go. There's the shortcut up to a different path. You'll see where it comes back down. I'll show you where it comes back down. But again, you've got quite a few of these Shotel enemies. Or grave wardens, should I say, sorry. No, they're not grave wardens. Or maybe they're another type of grave warden. Skeleton grave warden. I don't even know what they're called, to be honest. I just backstab them and then hit up again. So grab the grave warden's ashes. Now those you can use to get what do you call it? Sorry, Kujas. You give those to the handmaiden, obviously. Same as all the rest of the ashes. So yeah, if you don't have a blessed weapon, you've got to kill that guy twice. We'll then have a couple of others around here as well, so just pick up the large Titanite shard there. And to our right, there's another guy with a hat. Now we can kill him first, but I'm just going to focus Grave Warden guy. Again, strafe around him, or roll behind him, and get the backstab. And then we'll just spam attack as he gets up, and hopefully that'll do the job. If not, get behind him again. And you see they drop the vertebra shackles as well, those ones. So there's our guy with the hat, and he'll prevent the respawning, so you'll see the boulder will have exploded once we go downstairs. All that got bow, so just watch out for exploding arrows and the rest. And again, some Carthus Rouge there, and there's a trap just on the floor again, so if I trigger that one, you'll have the arrows come through. So if we go down the other way, this is the other go up, so you can see that's the normal entrance, and we went through the shortcut entrance. I just find the shortcut entrance, you've got less to worry about at once. Others having the dark gem have appeared from the boulder. There's this crab. Now, even Vardy Video has included this in his videos, saying sort of he doesn't even understand why Miyazaki decided a crab would come from exploding. But yeah, so if anyone has any ideas or suggestions on why that lore might be there, please please enlighten me as well, because it's very strange. Alright, this guy just drops a fire gem, so he's not even that important to kill, but for completeness sake, there's your fire gem. This guy, I just try and spam attack him and get him off the ledge. Just be careful you don't get off yourself, and if you run out of stamina, that's what can happen. There's some yellow bug pellets there as well, which is lightning damage, which you can use on the big worm that's underground. We will be coming across that worm in a short bit of time. Kill these 2 skeletons, they're the only ones that will spawn at the moment. That bridge over there will have a whole heap more follow us. So don't get too close, you can help it for a little bit. Black bug pellets there, and there's a soul item. There's also an ember just past the gate. And then this is where the Sorrig invasion happens, so you'll recognize the area. That second boulder was near this area, so the second boulder was coming through there. And then here's the Sorrig invasion. So get behind him, backstab him as he comes in. Sometimes that can just give you a little advantage. Now what I do is I wait for him to exhaust a bit of stamina, so he'll use a couple of attacks, just roll back from them. And then once he's made the attacks, you can usually get a spam attack in. And then get back. And again, just stay slightly out of his reach. Get the spam attack in, and then wait for another attack from... Slightly hit by that one. You can parry Sorrig as well, just as one-handed to the side attack, which can make it a bit easier. But you've got to be pretty good at your parries, otherwise you will get punished. We're just going to do a jumping attack now, just to show you that that can be good to finish him. You can equip the Symbol of Avarice just to get a couple of extra souls, and you'll get the Gesture My Thanks, as well as the Night Slayer's Ring for him. Night Slayer's Ring helps you just to take a bit more poise off every time you hit someone if they're guarding from your attacks. So it just takes their stamina down a bit more. So as we come up this way, just go to the right and we'll talk to Henri. Hopefully we haven't triggered those skeletons. If you get too close to the bridge, you can trigger those skeletons. If we talk to Henri, now just before we talk to Henri, if you look down that direction, we can actually see Horus, and you can even hit him with a firebomb, even from here. So Horus has actually gone hollow. That was a bad throw. Let's see if we can... You can see roughly where he is. He's just near those firebombs down there by the items. Now Henri can't even see him from there, which sort of indicates how she's hollowing as well, more and more. And so if we talk to her, you can see that she's really, really worried about Horus, doesn't know where he is, and sort of almost starting to despair a bit. And yeah, we can't say anything whether he's abandoned or not because we haven't actually spoken or seen Horus really yet. Well, we can see him, but we have to actually go down there to continue the quest line. Now you can follow this area if you have hit the bridge by mistake. There is another way to get down that way, but typically the way that you'd go across the bridge is the way that triggers all the skeletons, and it's quite epic as well, so we're just going to show you that one. So over here we've got all those skeletons. So we're going to head across the bridge. Now there's a little trick to this. There's a way across the bridge. They'll all follow me, and as the first one gets to about halfway, you want to hit the bridge. You might have to fight one, but it means that most skeletons will now fall off. You just have to hit one side of the bridge. That'll do the job. And then you get all the souls for the skeletons that fell down and died. The way to Wolnir's fight. We're not actually going to go to Wolnir, just downstairs further into the catacombs. One thing I like to do here is there's like a fire demon just around the corner. There's also a mimic just over that direction. Now if you can hit the mimic will actually come and fight the fire demon, so you can have a little battle between the two here without even having to do too much. So just do it really quickly, hit that mimic, get him annoyed, and then we're just going to get out the way of this fire. So it is a bit dangerous with the fire breath to start with, but it is quite amusing to have the mimic fight the fire demon. So you'll see the mimic is trying to follow us down. If we can just get behind the fire demon, we'll have the mimic come down. Just roll out now. Mimic is not behaving. Skeletons will also fight the fire demon, so what you can do, if the mimic doesn't behave, is you can take the fire demon down to these skeletons. And these guys do get up again as well if you're not using a blessed weapon. So just run around the area, get them all to stand up, and then what we can do is we can either bring them all up or have the fire demon come down, and he'll hopefully either kill them all or have to fight them. And now while they're busy, we're going to see if we can get the mimic back into the fight. Again, it's not that hard a fight. You can just fight the fire demon by yourself if you're confident. But having the mimic come in is just quite a nice touch. And having the skeletons as well. So just try and avoid these skeletons' attacks. It's not too hard to avoid them. You can see the mimic is following me. So we're just going to try and get the mimic to fight the fire demon now. Mimic is on very low health, so it's probably not going to be a very big battle, but there we go. Mimic's actually made an attack on the fire demon. I think the Mimic's actually about to kill him. Yep, Mimic's just killed the fire demon. Usually the fire demon will kill the Mimic, but I keep getting the different things on the stream for some reason. Alright, so finish off, you'll get the soul of the demon from that demon, get a couple of good weapons from that. You'll get the black blade from the Mimic, and pick up the soul items there as well. Just get around the back of that skeleton, finish him off. Alright, further down this way, there is the Witch's Ring, which greatly increases your pyromancy's damage, so that's useful. And it's the Old Sage's Blindfold. Now the Old Sage's Blindfold, remember exactly what it does. I know it increases the amount of dark damage that you take, but I think it helps you deal more mage yeah. So it blocks out unnecessary light, so... Okay, so I think it increases your pyromancy's damage, but also makes you take more dark damage, or... No, sorry, it's a blindfold mask that does that, so just ignore what I said about that blindfold. Alright, you can rest at this bonfire now, so this is your demon ruin? No, it's not demon ruins, it is a bonfire just before demon ruins. From abandoned tomb we can keep going down and watch out for the ballista. There's a ballista to the right that's going to be shooting arrows down at us, so we're just going to watch out for that. I'll try and point it out. Again, there's quite a few items in this swamp we'll pick up, but just watch out for the ballista. There we go. So, ballista up top, you can see where it's shooting from, but it's just shooting us way too quick. There we go. You can see it just up there. So again, my method is just generally to run through this area pretty quickly, because you will often get hit by it. So pick up the large Titanite shard. You can come back for these items once we've stopped the ballista later if you prefer. As you can see, I do take damage from most of these attacks. I try and roll and run and get away from it, but typically you will get hit. Use these pillars, these trees, just to hide behind and wait for the 3. Once it shoots 3 arrows, you can then make your run to the next spot. It sort of has a little break between each 3 arrows that it shoots. Make sure you get these lizards, they do have some good items. So that one will have the Twinkling Titanite, and then the Titanite chunk is on the next one. Again, this guy will try and run at the wall, so just try and get him before he does. I think he still dies if he goes through the wall, there's a bit of a glitch. But, yeah. So there's your Titanite chunk, and then we have Horus down here as well. Horus is an interesting NPC. It sort of can be a little bit difficult to take him out, but if you kick him when he's got his shield up, or if you parry his really big long charge, that can be good as well. I don't really parry shield too much in general, just because I find that often the risk is greater than the reward. But if you get really good at parries, like, so again, try and spam attack him. Frost works quite well against him with my Erythal straight sword there. You can also get behind him and backstab. I will try and show you that method. Often he doesn't like me to get behind though, and then try and kick that if he keeps putting that up. There you go. So that's the backstab, and then we can finish him off with a strong attack. Oh, shield. Again, when I went to try and kick there, just couldn't quite get it. Roll to the left or right if he does the big charge attack, and you can always jumping attack at him. Roll left or right, and then we'll just jumping attack. So he'll drop the Llewellyn shield, and then against the wall you sort of have to press into it, and you'll get the you get the yellow bug pellet. And then you get large Titanite shard and another large Titanite shard over here as well. So this is the section where if you haven't got your weapon to +6 yet, your normal weapon, those large shards will generally get you up to +6. And then the Titanite chunk, if you trade a black Firebomb Crows at Firelink, you can then pick up another Titanite chunk, and once you've got 2 you can get your weapon to +7. So you can have a +7 weapon at Smouldering Lake, which is pretty cool. There is a Chaos Gem further down this way, past the crabs. But we're going to pick up another one in this section anyway, and it's really not worth going through that crab section. So I wouldn't worry. But yeah, to the left, down that direction, there is the Chaos Gem. Pick up the large Titanite shards. Keep going. Now stay to the right section because there is that big worm there. You can just sort of pop in, grab the shield of want. Now he's going to spray lightning just ahead, so just watch out for that. And as long as you hug the wall here, you should be fine. Once you've hugged the wall, make sure the ballista is still going. You don't want to stop the ballista by this point, because now what you can do is you can just literally have a little rest here. I'm actually going to just choose my rest gesture. You don't have to, but you can literally have a little break, and as long as you're sort of in line with the worm, the ballista will be the one shooting the worm. Now what I'll typically do as well is at this point I'll equip the Shield of Want, because that'll give me some extra souls, and then once he's on really low health I'll equip the Symbol of Avarice as well. So you don't even have to fight that worm, you can literally just take a break and let the ballista do the work for you. You'll see the health bar going down. What I'll do is, as it gets quite low, we're just going to equip the Symbol of Avarice, and we'll get some extra souls as well. There we go, 11,800 souls, just for one worm that you did touch. There's the large Titanite shard there. Depending on how many you've got, it might not even be worth running back for that. The ballista shooting at you, but you make that call. Now just a note, the old Demon King is through that door over there, that fog door, so you can go straight to the boss, but there are 2 more. So we've picked up 2 undead bone shards, one from the worm, one from a little bit earlier from the boss. We're going to get another undead bone shard as well. And we picked up lightning stake, the one faith that you can use just from that worm as well. It's one of the miracles that actually Soul of Cinder uses. It's just sort of a stake right in front of you that will hurt someone who's just really close to you. Okay, so we're going to bring Sorig in and just help us with some of the enemies here. Again, you don't need to do that, it's just something that can give you a little bit extra support. You can actually make Sorig fight his real version as such further in the catacombs. These enemies you just want to backstab if you can. Don't let them get you with a fire attack, and just roll past their machetes. They will summon that fire orb, so the quicker you kill them the better, because otherwise you'll have fire orbs shooting at you. Same as a bit further down, there's some fire orbs. Pick up that ember, and now what we can do is, there's quite a bit of dangerous stuff down that direction. Typically what I'll do is I will just avoid that area. We can come and mop up the rest of the items later. But coming down this direction, what you want to do is head to the right here. There is a couple of things that we want to do. We want to go to the right again, and we've got some rats in here, so we'll just deal with that rat first. And then if we continue on straight, you can see that there's a lava pit. Now that's one of the ways down to the lava. There are a couple of ways down there. Turning back, we can keep going down to the left, and we can actually fight these rats. There's an item that we're going to get to in a second, and that's going to be a pyromancy tome. And usually people have been pretty good. You can see there's actually a message here just telling you there's an illusion ahead. So that was that illusion that we just hit. And then to our left we have the Quelana pyromancy tome. And there's also some items down the lava there. What I recommend is I wouldn't worry about getting the white hair tellers. You have to have some really good Estus and some really good fire resist to get all the way down to that fire one. That fire item, so that's the white hair talisman all the way down the end. But you can also get the toxic mist, I'm pretty sure it is. Yes, it is. If you use a red bug pellet. So equip your red bug pellet, and we can use that. Have some fire resist armor. I would recommend using that here as well. So use your red bug pellets, use your Estus, and then you want to run through. You want to chug a bit of Estus as you get to it. Grab toxic mist, and then keep chugging your Estus as much as you can on the way back, and then just run. Ooh, that was very close. So more fire resist you have, the better. As you can see, Sorig didn't make it through that one. What is we are going to head back the way we came, and we're going to get to another bonfire that's pretty close to us. So back the way we came, and we're going to head to the right this time. Now through this door there's a Black Knight and there's a Gru. Just ignore them. We're going to head to the right straight away. We're going to grab the Black Knight sword, and we're going to be out of here because we're on low health. So Black Knight sword is actually a really decent weapon. It does a lot of damage as a great sword, and it also has perseverance on it, which is really useful for PvP. Running through this area, watch out for these Grus, they are quite dangerous, and what we want to do is we want to just head up the staircase. Now this is sort of your safe zone in amongst all the chaos down here. Now we're probably going to die here if we're not careful. Try and roll past these Grus. And then we've got this guy to deal with as well. You can roll through his attacks and backstab, but I just messed up that backstab. Thankfully we've lit the bonfire so we can come straight back to this point and continue the walkthrough. Now what I'm going to show you next is the Estus Shard. So once you've got to this Old King's Antechamber bonfire, we'll go to the left first. So there's a Pyromancy Tome through the left, and there's a Chaos Gem through the right here. So we'll get both of those, and then we'll go get the Estus Shard and the Undead Bone Shard. There's also one more Pyromancy in another lava section, so we'll get that once we go down to Sorig. So as I said, down this direction we have the Chaos Gem. That's really useful for if you have more of a mage or pyromancer build, just because you're going to have more intelligence and faith, which is what it scales off. So you can also get daggers that are sharp +10 or chaos +10. Chaos plus 10 daggers, if you have the right stats, can be absolutely brutal. It'll typically one-shot people in PvP if you parry them and riposte. Now those guys not deal with. You can just backstab them and treat them the same way as the other Grus, but let's just get started. So from the bonfire, what we're going to do is we're going to head through this wall, so just hit through that. Now we're going to have a Estus shard to the left. And then continuing on. I'm actually probably going to leave the item mop-up in this one. There's nothing really hugely important, so we're just going to drop down. And then to our right, as we drop down, we've got a... Whoa, just watch out for that. We've got a undead bone shard. Grab that and roll away as soon as you can, and then you've got all these fire orbs shooting at you. My recommendation is just run through, run to the right, and drop down on this rat. Plunge attack, and then get back, so get the other side of the rat because you're going to have a whole swarm of them. Hold your shield up. And just try and pick them off one by one. Okay. Couple of things to point out here. There is an invisible wall down to the left here. And then you can get the Titanite scales, I think. Oh no, large Titanite shards. Hitting through this invisible wall, you can get down and grab the Izolith, so another staff that you can use for sorceries. And then watch out for these basilisks, so they will curse you if you stay there too long. I'd recommend running through, grabbing this Titanite scale and continuing on. You can fight all of them, and if you take them on one by one, that can work quite well. But again, you don't really want to spend too long on the basilisks, they're not sort of worth it. This is where you get your this is sort of the real Sorrig now. So we've been invaded by Sorrig, we've been able to summon Sorrig because we got invaded by Sorrig, and now we have the final sort of real Sorrig down here. So again, follow the same technique as we did with the other Sorrig. This guy does a bit more damage, I think, but yeah. The main difference. He is quite difficult, I will admit that much. Hold your shield up just in case, and then just drop back. But mainly you want to just try and keep your spacing really good, so keep that bit of distance, but enough that you can run forward and punish once he does sort of big heavy attacks. Again, I was a little bit too close there, and that was the problem. So we're going to just follow that same path down to Sorrig, but we're going to take it really quick this time, because there is a pyromancy in the lava there. So I just want to show you that one. So again, running this way, the Estus shard was on our left, the undead bone shard was on our right. We're just going to run pretty much straight ahead, slightly to the left, and roll through here. I do recommend killing the big rat at the very least, because he is a big nuisance and will follow you as much as he possibly can. I will show you a slightly different method. You can actually click on the basilisks. You can come down here to the left, and then typically it's easier to find them one-on-one. So you'll see there's one there that you can take on straight away. And then too much of a jerk, you can take on some others one by one, but now we've got all the rats involved as well. So yeah, you can just sort of spot them and take them on one by one, or you can just run to the left again. Get to big Sorrig. I'm just going to use an ember just to get my health that little bit higher for this section. You can actually make the Sorog run off into the lava as well, but I find that if he hits me while I'm in the lava, I tend to die really easily. Oh, trying to heal. So again, wait for him to make that big attack, and then that's when you can get the spam attacks in. The other method is you can roll past him when he does a big attack. So as he does the big attack, you roll past, and then you can backstab him. But again, I prefer the spam method just because if you miss on the rolls, he can really punish you. Whereas if you sort of keep your distance, it's very hard for him to get too much on you. And again, we might be able to finish him with a single jumping attack. I'm going to heal just in case. There we go. And he gives you the Fume Ultra Greats, probably recognised from Dark Souls 2 if you have the DLCs. And then there's one other thing that he gives you, which is the Black Iron Great Shield. Now for this section, again, same as before, we're going to need to chug some Estus and use a red. So I'm going to use some good fire resistant armor, so like the Conjurator robe, Conjurator manchettes, the Conjurator boots. We can even use the hood as well. Just gives you that. You can see there's a 5.1 fire resist on the hood. There's 13.6 on the chest, so it's got pretty good fire resist. Now we'll use a red bug pellet, and we can actually use the flame stone plate ring as well. There's a couple of different fire resist things that you can use. And we should be able to get there with our 5 Estus. We're going to run it. We're going to chug. We're going to grab. We're going to chug. And we're going to run back. And we're going to chug just before we get there, just in case. There we go. I'm going to just teleport back to that last bonfire. If you want to go and spend your souls here, you can. It's really up to you. I don't think we're going to lose our souls. I think we should be fine. But again, if you're new to this, I would definitely recommend that you go and spend your souls here. This next bit, there are some items like the Dragon Rider bow, but there's not too many more important items that I'm going to be showing you. We've got all the important stuff. Again, in the lava there was an ember there earlier. I'm not too fussed about the ember. I really don't enjoy the lava, let's be honest. Alright, so running through again, finish the rat off, and then I'm going to take this method again, so to the right, drop down again, ignore them, and then run through. I'm just going to change back to some better armor. Oh, hello. Excuse me, sir. Okay, so we've got a Black Knight here. What I do is I get him to follow me. I'll get behind him, I'll backstab him, and I'll send him to the lava. If you want his items, I don't recommend sending him to the lava, because you're not going to pick those up now. But, I just like to get rid of him. Good soul item there, will give you, I think, 10,000 souls, so it is worth it. Climbing up this ladder now, there is an item to our right, so that'll be up the next ladder, and then we'll drop down, and then we'll continue up to where we can stop the ballista. So you can see the item there to the right. We're just going to drop down, pick that up. That's the Dragon Rider bow, and then drop back down, take the ladder back up. Now this is the point where the ballista is. We just have to get a little bit higher to get there. So there is an item in the corner there to the left. And with bones. Some enemies to the right. Watch out for the bone wheels. Again, I wouldn't even reckon them. I would just move on to these enemies here. Nothing hugely important or missable there either. So try and get these guys to fight you one at a time. So get close enough that he'll start to recognize you here and come at you. We've got the bone wheels involved, unfortunately. So we will have to be very methodical here. We're going to try and backstab. We're then going to try and take on a bone wheel, or not. Make sure you heal. These guys have been known to kill me multiple times just because they are so fierce with their dual show tills. So again, get behind this one. Two Titanite shards that we can get from him. Again, that's just a random drop. And then this lever is what stops these. We don't have to worry about them anymore. And then what I'm going to do is you can actually just head down this direction to get back to the downstairs area. Now, there is that Chaos Gem further back there. I'll see if I can just point that out. It is to the right hand side there, so you can drop down and grab it. But again, this is not an area that I particularly enjoy, and I'm now risking quite a few souls just to get a Chaos Gem. So again, follow this path down to the right and you'll be able to pick up the Chaos Gem. I was pretty sure it was there. I remember it being there. There's also a area that I forgot to show you that you can get the ballista to shoot to get a ring. There's your Chaos Gem. You can see it down that direction. I'm not going to go get it. Rather avoid these crabs. Anyhow, what you can do, I'm just going to show you right now. You can get the ballista to shoot this wall over here if it was still going, and that'll give you the ring that's there. So I'll just praise that message, and then what we're going to do is we're going to head back to Shrine. We're going to use the stuff that we've got, and then we're going to take on the two bosses. So we can get our broadsword. We should be able to get it to, let's say, +7. Yep, because we traded that chunk with the birds before. And we don't quite have enough Twinkling Titanite to get the Erythil to +4. That takes quite a while. We will reinforce our Estus Flask. We can only do that once because we picked up 1 Estus Flask shard. But we picked up a whole 3 Undead Bone Shards, so we'll be able to use them here. And what we can do is we'll head back to the Demon Ruins bonfire. Now that's the closest to the old Demon King. Again, I'm going to show you this boss fight solo, but I'm just going to mention that if you summon Great Swamp Cuculus, if they survive the battle and you go back to where you freed Cornyx from the cage, you'll actually be able to pick up Cornyx's armor set, which is quite cool. So as you can see here, now that we've stopped that ballista, you are able to summon people without getting shot, whereas normally I'd be being shot over here. Alright, so old Demon King. Really, I don't have a whole lot of strategies for you in this boss fight, unfortunately. But if you stay in close to him, and I'll try and point out some of his attacks as well. So staying in close is a good strategy, but watch out for those AoE attacks. Roll through that. Again, sometimes he'll just do an AoE and you've got almost no chance of getting out of it. Again, I've got to roll out and I don't think I'm going to get out in time. Typical of the old Demon King, trying to get out of those AoEs is crazy. You can roll a lot of those attacks when he does the big slams. Try and hit his tail. I've found that tends to just keep me out of the way of some of his attacks and get me a bit of damage. You can roll through that one without taking damage. I did stuff up the roll there. I'll try and show you. There we go, we didn't take any damage that time. I saw strategies for him. I didn't even realise I really did. Primarily it's getting to learn his attacks and learning when to roll with the old Demon King. So again, you can roll through. He's calling in meteors now. You'll see him waving that thing around, so you just want to try and stagger him out of it if you can. He will still call the meteors though, so you want to run away if possible and get a bit of health in. Now again, get behind him. Demon King is a optional boss. You don't have to fight him just yet. So if you do find that you're really struggling with him, you can wait. He's going to have an explosion attack now, so you want to get out of the way. And then he'll just kind of collapse. He's not completely useless. Take one more slice, so I just recommend finishing him off. Collapses. And that's the old Demon King. You'll get his soul to your rest of the bonfire. And yeah, we can now head back to Firelink, and then we'll deal with Walnut. I actually forgot to upgrade my stats, so I still had a whole heap going into that battle. So again, I'm going to focus mostly on strength and dex. Just sort of see what's getting you the most increases each time. I think I was getting most from strength as opposed to dex, so we'll put a couple more in strength.
Farewell, Ashen One.
The other thing is, if we haven't already, we're going to give the transposing kiln to Ludleth.
Fret not, for I am.
And that allows us to use our boss souls that we've got. So you can see you can get quite a few different things from those boss souls. Chaos Speed Visitors is a very useful pyromancy. The Hollow Slayer Greatsword is really useful for just general attacks and everything. It's more focused on dex scaling than strength, but is a very good weapon, so I'd recommend getting that one. Farron Greatsword is also a really good weapon. It will be useful if you use it on Wolnir, which is the next boss we're going to face. So Farron Greatsword or Wolf Knight's Greatsword, both are from the Abyss Watcher's soul, and both will be useful on Wolnir because he's weak to those abyssal weapons. But we're just going to get the Hollow Slayer Greatsword as it's a really good weapon, especially just for dealing a lot of damage rather than having special weapon arts and that for PvP. I find Farron Greatsword to be one of the best weapons for PvP. Also the Crystal Sage's Rapier is really useful for increasing your item discovery, so I would grab that one. And then again, the rest is up to you as to what you want to grab. Havel's Ring can be quite useful to increase your load. And Pontiff's Left Eye, if you're doing lots of attacks, it can be really useful. Okay, so I'm going to get Pontiff's Left Eye, and I'm going to pick up Havel's Ring there as well. And we're going to go fight Wolnir. Just having a look at my current rings, I will replace the Blue Tearstone Ring with Lloyd's Sword Ring. Just gets me that extra damage, and I will also equip Pontiff's Left Eye. Pontiff's Right Eye we'll get soon as well. Is useful if you're making lots of successive attacks like that. If you are hitting the enemies each time, you'll recover HP with this one, and then Right Eye you'll deal more damage the more attacks you get in. If we go to Catacombs of Carthus, that's the closest one to Wolnir fight. Also, now that we've killed Hodrick, it makes sense to go and talk with Anri, and yeah, we'll continue her questline here as well. Next time we'll meet Anri will be for the Aldrich. Oh no, we'll meet her in Church of Yorshka in Irithyll, and then we'll meet her for the Aldrich fight. You can also meet her afterwards, and I will show you that, but it is a little bit sad ending. So this is a shortcut that we unlocked by Sorig, so it makes it quicker to get to fight. There will be these two skeletons. I'd recommend killing them straight away, just because we're going to be talking with Anri. And then if you have not killed Horus and you don't want Anri to die, I would recommend saying that you haven't seen Smouldering Lake. You just say nothing. If you have killed Horus like we have, there's no harm in telling her about the Smouldering Lake.
To think there'd be a lake so deep within these catacombs. What a relief. I knew that Horus was alive and wouldn't stray. Thank you. We are both in your... This hardly expresses my gratitude, but it'll have... Please take it. And may... I will soon thank you. May the flames come.
So again, you can take that path. I'll show you that path this time. Just drop down and continue up this way, and that gets you to the end of the bridge as well. So that's that bridge that we just hit to make it fall down when the skeletons came. And that's the path down to Smouldering Lake as well, just as a reminder. Alright, is one of the battles where you just really want to take out Wolnir pretty quickly, otherwise he can summon a whole heap of skeletons and make the fight a lot harder. So he's a very easy boss fight as long as you kill him quickly and avoid his fog. He does have a pyromancy in his boss area as well, so you can either pick that up during the battle or it'll respawn in this room once you reload the area, so you'd have to use a homeward bone if you forget to pick it up during the boss fight. Because with the strategy I use now, people use a whole heap of different strategies. The strategy I use is to try and kill him the quickest possible without having him be a massive troll. So he won't do anything until you go further forward. You can actually hit his right arm, his left arm, the arm to our right. So you can hit his left arm before the fight even starts. You can then go for that arm, because if you don't hit his right arm quick enough, he will summon a sword and just make things a whole lot harder for you. So I tend to get that right arm second, and then I'll go back to the bracelets on the left arm and finish those last. That's my technique. Again, I'll have to run back if he does lots of smoke attacks. You just really have to get out of the way, otherwise it'll just chip away at your health really quickly. So let's get started. We're going to try and hit, we're going to hit the bracelets. That's how to beat Wolnir. So you want to hit this bracelet as many times as you can straight away. There we go, we've broken one. Then we want to get straight for this bracelet on the right arm. Again, he will do hitting attacks. Try and stay where the arm's going to come down. We'll start to learn that. Okay, you can be really aggressive there, but he's going to breathe. You can see him reaching up and doing the breath. Just get back if you can. That attack will just decimate your health. He will sometimes crawl up, try and get to where his hand's going to get to, and get those attacks on the bracelet. And then because I know it's close to being finished, I will try and get some risky attacks on that bracelet now. And then I'll go straight for the other bracelet here to try and finish him off. Try and watch what he's doing. It's very hard to control your camera to watch everything at once. Not too hard. And grab the pyromancy before you leave. It's just easier. Pop on the symbol of avarice if you have it, and make sure you get shielded wonton to get those extra souls. And now we're going to just get teleported back to Wolnir's room. And so that door leads up to Irithil, which we're gonna get to the first bonfire in Irithil, and then we're gonna leave that this stream here, as we got 70 minutes, and then we'll continue on the next stream, which will be Irithil. I think I might have taken my helmet off slightly too early. I just saw the souls come through there. Okay, so just heading up this staircase. There is actually a shortcut back, just as a little side note. You can actually jump over. If I can get it. I remember being able to jump over that staircase on the way back, but anyway. Not important. Irithil is very, very pretty as you enter it, as you can see. Just an amazing art design for this area, until you start meeting the enemies. Then you're less appreciative of the design. Anyway guys, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you in the next stream for Irithil of the Boreal Valley.